Hello, today we are starting Unit 7B. We're going to look at finding a mean when there is a missing number today. It says Jojo wants to get a B in math. To get a B, you need to have a mean of 80% for all the scores. What does he need to get on his last test in order to get a B in the class? So we have so far scores of 82%, 73%, 90%, 78%, 65%, and something else that we don't know. So we need to find the mean or the average. Remember, to find mean, we add everything up, add up all the numbers, and divide by however many we have. And that'll give us our mean. You don't need to write that. We're going to plug our numbers in right now. So if we add up all the numbers, we should have 82 plus 73 plus 90 plus 78 plus 65 plus something. We don't know what that something is. I'm going to erase this so it's not in the way here. Ooh. So if we add up all those numbers and divide by, how many numbers do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and including this one, we have 6 numbers. So we need to divide by 6. They're telling us that should give us 80%. If we add everything up with whatever this new one is and divide by 6, our goal is to get to 80%. So really what we need to do is just solve this. So first we're going to simplify or add up all of these numbers that we can so far, except for the x. We're going to plug in my calculator. 82 plus 73 plus 90 plus 78 plus 65. And I get 300, oops, that's not a marker, 388 plus something divided by 6 equals 80. All I did was rewrite everything that I had up here exactly how it is. Now it just says solve it. Draw the line and undo. The opposite of dividing by 6 is multiplying by 6. Multiply and divide, when they're on the top and the bottom, they cancel out. So we just have 388 plus x. And then 80 times 6, if you don't know 80 times 6, 6 times 8 is 48. And there's a 0, so 480. And we're still undoing. The opposite of a positive 388 is a negative 388. So we're subtracting 388. That gives us 0. So we have x equals whatever 480 minus 388 is. It gives us 92. So Jojo would have to get a 92% on his next test in order to get a B in the class. Let's take a look at our next question. Same thing, it's just straightforward this time. Find the unknown number in the data set when we're given the information there. So we're finding the mean, because it says right here our mean is going to be 14. So you know, if we add these up, negative 10 plus negative 5 plus 14 plus x plus 23, all divided by how many numbers was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide by 5 should give us a mean or an average of 14. So let's simplify all of the numbers, negative 10 and a negative 5, that's negative 15. Negative 15 plus 14, there's one more negative, so negative 1 plus 23, there's more positives, 22 positives. If you're not sure about that one, plug it in your calculator. We can do that too. Negative 10 plus negative 5 plus 14 plus 23 gives us 22. Plus x, we don't know what x is, divided by 5 equals 14. And now we just need to solve it. Get rid of our division here. The opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. We always get rid of this bottom half of the fraction first. Even though normally we get rid of adding and subtracting first, this isn't one problem. This would be simplified to 22 over 5 and x over 5. So we need it in separate pieces. So that's why we're getting rid of our division for here first. Those eliminate because it's on the top and the bottom. 5 divided by 5 is just 1. So we have 22 plus x equals whatever 14 times 5 is. 14 times 5 is going to give us 70, and we can just plug that in our calculator. And now this is a positive 22, so the opposite is subtracting 22. Then we have x equals 48. So our missing number in the data set was 48. Let's flip over to the back side. I would suggest trying this one on your own and then clicking play to see if you got it right. So we're going to end up adding all of these numbers together. So I'm going to add these ones up right now. 6 plus 8 plus 14 plus 9 plus 3 plus 12 plus 5 is 57 plus whatever c is. And add them all up and divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will give us a mean of 8. So now, when we go to solve this, the opposite of dividing by 8 is multiplying by 8. Again, those are eliminating. So we have 57 plus c equals 8 times 8 is 64. And then the opposite of adding is subtracting, so subtract 57. We have leftover c equal to 64 minus 57, which is 7. So our missing number is 7. Last question down below. This one is just looking at the data and answering some questions about it. Which value would you need to remove to increase the mean? So if we want to increase the mean, we want all of the high numbers. So that means in order to increase it, we could get rid of one of the low numbers, or the lowest number. So our lowest number here is, I think, 65. So if we get rid of 65, all of the rest of the numbers are going to be higher. If we put them in order down here, 65, then we have 73, 78, 82, 90, and 92. So if we take the mean or the average of just these numbers, it's going to be a higher number than if we included 65, because that's going to bring our mean or our average down. So if we remove 65, our mean will be higher. On the other end, which value would you need to remove to decrease the mean? So if we want a low mean, we need to get rid of the high number. So we would get rid of our highest number and we want to keep all the low ones. So we'd get rid of 92. It says compare the means of the two data sets. So of those two groups of data. So I'm going to find the mean of the first one that we were looking at, of all the high numbers. If we add them all up, 73 plus 78 plus 82 plus 90 plus 92, we get 415 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. We get a mean of 83. If we look at all the low numbers, we have 65 plus 73 plus 78 plus 82 plus 90. We have 388. Again, divided by 5 gives us 77.6. So you can see that by getting rid of the low number, getting rid of the high number, it's going to change our mean. If we found the mean of all of the numbers, oops, let me look here, plus 65, it would be 480 divided by 6 numbers. 80 would be our mean with all of the numbers. So if we got rid of the high number, or I'm sorry, got rid of the low number, made our mean higher. We got rid of the high number, it made our mean lower. You can see compared to 80, this one's higher, this one's lower. That's what we're looking at. So now it says compare the means of the two data sets. So 83 is higher than the average, and then 77.6 is lower than with all the numbers. Okay? How would the mean change if you added 10 to each number? Well, if we added 10 to each of these numbers, all the numbers are the same except they're 10 higher. So our average, or our mean, is also going to be 10 higher. So instead of a mean of 80, we'd have a mean of 90. And if you don't believe me, you could add those all up and divide by 6. That last one is a little bit more challenging. I believe there is one question like this on your homework where you need to talk about what would you get rid of to increase